Today we talk to a number of female gamers about why more women don't play RPGs. Today on Dungeon Craft. And welcome to Dungeon Craft. I'm Professor Dungeonmaster, and this channel is about playing the ultimate game of D&D.
And I'm Deathbringer. Level up your game by subscribing and click the bell icon to be informed when we upload new videos.
So according to YouTube analytics, Dungeon Craft's audience is 99.1% male, which is unusual because I have a number of role-playing groups and they pretty much run 50-50 male to female. As a matter of fact, the group I play with most often is mostly composed of females, which is a little bit unusual, I think, in the hobby. So I recently sat down with members of my long-running group and asked them questions about what it's like to be a woman in a male-dominated hobby. And I did my best to do the reporter thing and just ask objective questions, and this is what they said.
My brother never let me play Dungeons and Dragons growing up because I was a girl.
I was initiated into gaming by a high school friend, Earl, and Adam.
Well, my husband decided one day he wanted me to come by to your house, Danny, and start playing. So I said, okay. He invited me.
You can't call me Danny.
Sorry, okay, Professor Dungeonmaster.
I was excluded because I was a girl from a young age by young boys who didn't want to play with girls. I guess they assumed we didn't like to hack stuff up and kill them. I don't know, whatever. It was my little brother. I'm totally fine with that.
That's what I used to do to my Barbie dolls.
My dad is a dungeon master, so I can't remember my first game, but I've been playing since I was a kid. Played with my Girl Scout troop, with my brothers, and now my high school friends, so I've played for a while.
I heard about it in middle school, a little bit in high school, and then never really thought about it until I met this weird friend at work who always talked about it.
If Earl didn't introduce me to it, then I don't think I would be playing for as long as I've been playing. I think it's been about, it's been over a decade for sure. I don't know how long
it's
I've been
more than
playing.
that.
I met Professor Dungeonmaster's wife at a part-time job when I was in college. And she started dating the Dungeon Master, and she said, come over and we'll play some games. And I had an ex-boyfriend who played but never really got involved, and then started to get involved, and it was a lot of fun.
Did he ever invite you to play?
I was invited to observe. They would play like for an entire weekend, and I would just like come by and say hi and watch them a little bit. And
Was there any women playing?
no.
So it was all men.
It was
and you're
all
just
men.
watching.
I think they just need to invite them. I think a lot of times women are just not invited. Like, because I got invited to it was a Halloween party, and that was my first introduction.
Yeah, just invite us. I mean, you have to be immersed in it somehow. How do we find anything? I mean, I would never have found it unless there were people who invited me. Talk to your friends about it. Girls, especially, because we rock the games way harder than the guys do.
We're not exposed to it at a young age. Usually you hear about some boy, like a boyfriend plays the game, and they don't invite us to play. It's like, oh, this is a boys thing, especially teenage boys.
Yeah, that's true.
I think just from my knowledge, it's exposure based. A lot of my girlfriends just had never heard of it, whereas because of marketing, I think a lot of my guy friends had heard about it before, played it.
Between Stranger Things and Game of Thrones.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory, right? Like, I think now more women and girls are more aware of it and may feel more welcomed and included in that whole
Yeah,
club.
I agree.
Is this like a thing for Tinder or something? Like, are we?
Well, I think the first thing is maybe come at it in a simplified way. I remember I was in the parking lot of my college and I heard two girls talking about Dungeons and Dragons from about 10 feet away, and they were mentioning how some guy tried to explain to them how to play, and it was just too much going on. It was super confusing, and it was just something that they thought, no one else I know plays, I'm not going to bother learning. So I think maybe coming at everyone with a simplified version, and then people can kind of ramp it up.
Yeah, and I wonder too, like, depending on who the DM is, right? Like,
yeah.
I wonder if there's more female DMs, would there be more female participation?
That's true. I think that would help.
I remember at the beginning of our gaming career was Warhammer. We didn't start with D&D. I do remember reading the rules and trying to pick which path and which career and all that. And then just I think it just, as we progressed, that was less and less important.
You're usually a wizard. You like the idea of critical spell failures. Why?
Because you're performing magic. It's either going to go good or it's going to go bad. There can't be any in between.
You don't mind the idea that you're going to get blown up possibly one day?
That's the chance. It's a risk.
That's
the
fun.
risk you take.
That's
Yes.
the point of the game.
Our dungeon master, as annoying as the rules can be sometimes, it's always for the good of the party and always for the good of the game. That's how I take it.
Right.
I mean,
Which doesn't mean we don't die once in a while.
I mean, we
That's
die.
happy.
You can't always live. I mean, it's not always about that. It's
Right.
about how we can stretch the storyline and make it for really good dialogue and really good. Just it's always a good time. It's never a dull session.
Now, she's a good figure.
Yeah,
Because she looks like what she's supposed to be, which is a mage,
yeah.
right?
She does.
But she also looks like she can kick butt.
She's functional. She's got a bag for her skulls and any potions she might pick up.
No, I love it. She's wearing purple, my favorite color. She looks fierce.
Ready for battle.
Yeah.
I think this is cool. I think full coverage. I mean, a little thigh showing, but I think this one's neat. I haven't seen it before. She looks cool.
That's
Alright.
a little sacrilegious. I go to church and all. I think if the butt cheeks weren't out,
There's some butt cheeks here.
I think if he, well, I
but there's also front butt cheeks.
I
Just
told
the
him
back.
he could have just painted them differently and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, there's no support here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the nun with the assless chaps or the thong? Is
Who
it...
fights like that?
Am I offended? I'm not necessarily offended, but it's definitely not appealing.
It's not realistic either. I think if you're fighting, I'd be wearing like a sports bra probably or something, and maybe pants with a butt. But this one's not offensive. It's well covered. It's realistic. She's got the armor on, good boots.
She has her ass cheeks out and her
Ours
boobs
the
out.
opposite. Mine has it's fully like the cape.
This one I like because she's fully covered. He's wincing because I'm touching it with my sweaty finger.
It's a figure.
It's fantasy. It's a fantasy world.
It's an artist's, impression. So
She's well endowed.
She's gorgeous. I don't foresee her running far distances.
But at least she has clothes on.
Yeah, they're all very sexy, but
Yeah.
they're sexy, but also mysterious and
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. Oh, so that's me. Hi. So I am supposed to speak like this with my Scarlett Johansson imitation voice.
I mean, I think this one's pretty good. She has good shoes. She's got a lot of clips to hold things. It's just, I mean, the breasts are a little inaccurate. I just don't see someone fighting with them like that. But I don't know, it's an imagination game. Ogres aren't real either. Maybe boobs stay in place.
You know,
Yeah,
this one's
it's good.
fine too. Like, same thing. You know, she's got flat boots. She has like a little satchel to the side, a little
Like cargo
holder.
pants
Right,
almost,
yeah, almost
yeah.
like cargo pants. So I would probably have my hair in a hair tie if I were to be fighting somebody.
true.
You know, like that's always important. But like, this is less offensive than the, ass showing nun.
Chainmail bikini, yay
Okay.
or nay?
it's
I can
got to
see
be
your
uncomfortable.
face. I can see
But again, this is fantasy, not reality.
boob is coming out.
Oh, is it? Is
Yeah,
there side
her
boob?
boob is side boob.
Oh, there is. Yep.
they're not like stick figures. They've got a lot of ass, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're definitely shape-wise, but
They're shapely, but you can't really. What are we doing with this one?
right, she's pretty naked.
She really is.
Okay, do druids
She's a
not go into town? Don't they cover up at some
She
point?
can't go into town like
No,
that.
no.
And her buttocks. I would play it.
No, I
Nothing
would play it.
offends
I
me.
wouldn't be offended.
But yeah, no, she's super cool. I mean, her sword is enormous. It's also, I'm all for no pants, and I'm with it.
It is what it is. I'm not. There's many other things to be upset about in this world. Not a sexy figure.
Nothing
No.
offends me. Even if she
Nope.
was being whipped with chains, it wouldn't offend me. Honestly, I don't care.
What do the male ones look like?
This guy's super buff, looks strong, but it doesn't really look like fighting attire. I mean, he has no shoes on, no armor, just six-pack of abs. It's not the most realistic fighter. Maybe it was like fighter caught off guard in the shower. I don't know.
This just essentially looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Conan the Barbarian.
Not all women look like the women figures. I would say not the majority of men look like these either. So they're both exaggerated. He's unrealistically looks like Hulk, or that guy from, what is it, Fantastic Four that's made of rock. That's what this guy looks like. So unrealistic, but he's got armor, he's got boots.
This is, pretty much Heath Ledger in some sort of
That's
movie.
a normal looking guy.
Yeah. This is what I envision Heath Ledger to look like in heaven.
I think out of all the characters, that one's very realistic. Or out of all the men, it's the most realistic looking one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was 25 years ago? I mean, this was a while ago. Okay, so we were playing, and there were two players, Kevin and Frank, and their characters were warriors. They could have come up with the most cockamamie schemes, like, oh, I'm gonna jump onto the chandelier and do like a triple Lutz and, behead this one and stab this one, all in like one felt swoop, right? Oh, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So Michelle and I come up with a plan. I don't even remember what it was. And he's like, I don't think that's going to work. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, the guys, they come up with like these, crazy schemes, and their schemes are always like good, and ours wasn't.
They always work, right?
And I got a little frustrated, so I just took my dice and threw them at him.
So what you're saying is it's my implicit bias and misogyny.
Yes, you can be infuriating. No, I think you're okay.
So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, especially if you're a female role player and you want to share your experiences, by all means put them below. We also have links below to our Dungeon Craft Facebook group and our Patreon. Patrons get access to my DM's notebook, house rules, the Eldritch Rules Light Cthulhu RPG, and the highest tiers can watch clips from our game sessions. Thanks so much to the patrons for making this video possible. I'm Professor Dungeonmaster, and I'll see you soon. Until then, may all your rolls be 20s.
Deathbringer again. Veronica, your only mistake was not using metal dice. I'll send you some ASAP. In the meantime, click on these videos for more Dungeon Craft content.